Hello, welcome to the Happy Little Art Studio. I'm Miss Palmentary, and today I'm going to teach you a little drawing trick that will help improve your drawings and have other people calling you a rock star because you can draw so well. It's just a little trick of the trade. I'm going to show you. You can learn all these cool tips and tricks. Now, you're learning at home. You may not have access to a lot of materials, so today you just need a pencil, an eraser, and a straight edge or ruler. If you don't have a ruler, it's very easy. You get a piece of paper and you fold it up. You can see I even used a takeout menu here. Okay, I folded it in half and half, and make sure that you really crease that edge. So you have your straight edge, your pencil, and your eraser. Let's get started. Okay, so I know in your math class, they probably had you draw a square that looked like this. And then you come down here in the corner and repeat the same thing, and you connect it. That's fine when you're in geometry class and you have to figure out something, some sort of mathematical equation, but it doesn't look real. All right, let's get started here. So we're using something called linear perspective, and that, you take the word linear, the base of it is line, right? Line. So we're going to use line to create the illusion of space, right? And we're going to forget about that geometry class cube, and we're going to make some cubes that actually look like real cubes, okay? First thing we need to do is draw out, take your straight edge, okay, and just very lightly, because you don't want to mark it up too bad, draw something called the horizon line. Horizon line. What is that? You can think of it as where the earth meets the sky. I like to picture standing on a beach and you look out towards the ocean and you kind of see a little line where the sky and the ocean apparently meet. Or at least they look like they do. So that's the horizon line. On your horizon line, you're going to have a dot. This dot is the vanishing point. What do you think that is, right? A point is a very particular place, and vanishing means it disappears. So I think that everything going back to the vanishing point is probably gonna vanish. Correct. Okay. I'm gonna start off with a cube because we had that other comparison with the geometry cube. I'm gonna do two of them though. I'm gonna draw one down here. It's okay if it's a little wobbly, if it's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And everybody makes mistakes. I make mistakes, you'll make mistakes. That's why we have erasers, right? So if you make a mistake or your cube is lopsided, don't worry about it. You can always use that eraser. I'm going to draw one up here as well, above the vanishing point, right above it. That's going to be some kind of fun. Okay, great. Now we're going to use something called orthogonal lines, or we're just going to call them guidelines. Orthogonal, sorry that doesn't fit on the screen all the way, we'll just call it the guidelines, okay? So we're going to connect these squares to this vanishing point. We're going to work one square at a time. We'll start with the one on the bottom, and we're going to start with orthogonal guidelines. So we're going to line up our vanishing point, because we know we have to eventually get to that point, right? And let's go up here. See, I'm using my straight edge. It's really important. Some people try to skip using the straight edge, and it just leaves their lines messy and sloppy and not in the right place, okay? So you're going to come to that corner. I've got the outermost corner of that square. I've got my straight edge through my vanishing point, and I'm just going to draw a line up there. Now don't draw it too darkly because you're going to end up erasing some, and you don't want to have a lot of smudges on your paper. I always say, draw it light until you get it right. And one other thing I always like to do, sound effects. Have you noticed that everything is better with sound effects? I think so. So I'm going to give these orthogonal lines this sound effect. And you got to make it when you draw yours too, or else it's no fun, okay? Yes, that looks nice and straight. I'm coming down to this third corner down here. I'm going to draw my orthogonal line from the corner to the vanishing point, not forgetting you have to have sound effects. I think that's awesome. I love that sound effect. It's fun. You can make up your own sound effects if you can't make mine. I mean, I've been making sound effects for a really long time. So maybe you're not on my level, maybe you're above my level. Maybe you'll send me a video, show me how much better at sound effects you are. That would rock. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna cut it off, okay? Cut it off. Because we don't want our cube to go on and on forever, do we? No, it's gotta have definite end to it. So this, you're gonna use another math word. Do you guys know what parallel is? Parallel refers to two lines that are running side by side and there's no curvature in them. They're exactly the same. They will never intersect. If they went on forever, they would never touch. So what we're going to do, because we want to cut it off parallel to our sides, use your straight edge. And this time, instead of a sound effect, I have a rhyme. And there's actually a dance move that goes with it, but I don't have time for dance moves on this video. Put your ruler on the side, and then you slide. Try it with me. Put your ruler on the side, let it slide. So this line is now parallel with that one. When we come to cut off this side here, we are going to do the same thing, but we're not going to go straight across because we're on a different side. We're going to start with this one. Do not forget your rhyme. It's very important. Put the ruler on the side and then you slide. But Miss P, how far over do I slide? You slide until you get to this point. That's where you're going to cut it off. How did I know how to cut it off on the first one? I just decided. I'm the artist. It's my paper. When you're drawing yours, guess what? You can decide too. That's the cool thing about art. Everybody can do it and everybody can have it be their own. Okay. Ruler on the side. And then you slide. Oops, I had to slide a little bit back. Ruler on the side, then you slide. Boom. All we have left now is a little bit of erasing. You're gonna love the sound effect that goes with erasing. Are you ready? I don't think you're ready. You sure? Okay, let's do it. We're going to erase all of these orthogonal lines that go beyond our form, our cube here. Okay, are you ready? Are you sure? All right. Erase, 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 erase. So when you erase your orthogonal lines, you have to make that sound. Eraser, erase, 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 erase. Ta-da! Beauty-muss, beauty-muss. All right. You did a great job. I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of your sound effects and your erase, erase, erase. Excellent job. Let's do the one that's above the vanishing point. So we're going to take our corners to the vanishing point using our orthogonal lines, and we're only going to do the two bottom ones. Why? Because if we drew the rest, it would literally be going through the cube, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Just like down here, notice we didn't do this corner, because if we drew this corner, it would go completely through the square, through the cube, and you'd end up erasing all of it. So it's really just saving yourself some time if you can recognize that some corners are going to literally be in the back. Okie dokie. I'm lining up with my corner and my vanishing point. Then we're going to do our sound effects. You ready? Nice. Next one. Are you ready? Are you sure? Beautimous. Love it. Love it. Okay, now we're going to cut it off. I'm kind of regretting how dark I drew those lines. But you guys forgive me, right? Everybody makes mistakes. Cool. It can always be fixed. So I'm going to cut off this side. I'm not connecting this or this corner, so I don't have to worry about any other sides. This is only one side. Do you remember the rhyme? How does it go? Oh yeah, you got it. Put your ruler on the side and then you slide. Ruler on the side and then you slide. Awesome. Great. Ready to move on. We have to do some erasing. And I'm switching to a white eraser because the pink one was leaving smudges on the paper. So that's why I switched. You ready for erasing? Do you remember which part we're going to erase? Those extra orthogonal lines or guidelines. We don't need those anymore. So we're going to erase, and to make it even better, we're going to use our sound effects. Erase, 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 erase. Erase, 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 erase. Wow, that's great. So now, don't you think these cubes look a lot more realistic? They look like they're moving back in space. You can take this theory and you can apply it to any kind of shape. Maybe in the next video, I'll do some curved shapes. Maybe we'll do some graffiti letters and make them 3D. Whatever floats your boat. Just let me know what you'd like to see. I hope you enjoyed your stay at the Happy Little Art Studio.